Welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ICP price once again. As we can see that we have developed a fantastic pattern here. I'm sure that some of you have seen that I've been posting over there on X saying that I think that chances are the ICP price is already bottomed, and I was posting this Wyckoff accumulation pattern you can see on top along with the ICP price down below, looking very much close to each other. Then of course I was looking much more on the chart and doing a little bit much more of research of how these Wyckoff accumulation patterns can look and which shape they can take. But I was coming across this one from Trading Center, very nice schematic, and this one I just put it right on top of the ICP price, and to my surprise this was actually very much a perfect match. I think you can see how the ICP price is just blending in very nice and easy to exactly where we are at this point, which we would be calling the spring moment. And what usually happens in a spring moment is that you mark a low, and from there it's all green towards the upside. Now my hopes are that ICP continues to follow in right there, because I have never seen anything follow a schematic as close as ICP is doing right at this point. So we're looking great, and my fingers are definitely crossed that we start following in there and rise with the price along. I think our price targets for this Wyckoff accumulation pattern are not really something that is big, but we're looking right around $15. And then from there, obviously, we have to analyze and see how that kind of price action really changes the dynamics of the chart. And of course, long term, do we have to change our price targets for ICP, which I'll just go ahead and mention a little bit, that I think ideally speaking, we want to be targeting as high as like $100 here for the peak of the bull run for ICP, because this is where the big resistance is. Other than that, I think we have got a resistance by around like $23, then the one that I mentioned previously, $15 by there. So we should be able to break these two and go ahead, challenge that $100 resistance for ICP. Then we'll see how the chart is looking after that. However, I think we have to acknowledge also that ICP does not exist in a bubble, and it depends really on where the rest of the market is. I will prove to you that right in this video. But before we go any further, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It will of course tell the YouTube algorithm that yes, this video is very much relevant, and it will also get shown to as many people as possible. So we were talking about the Wyckoff accumulation pattern, but I mean, do we also have indicators agreeing with that? I think so far we've got RSI coming out of its lows here and bouncing very much strongly. So we also want to see something like that. One other thing that is a little bit much more important, or very important I should be saying, is to see the volume start to rise. So far we're trading right around $85 million. It's not really all that big, to be honest with you, but I would say that in the kind of markets that we have been residing, these volumes are quite decent in my opinion. So maybe we want to be seeing $150 million, or maybe 100 million at least. But for now, I think yeah, it's significant volume in my opinion, at least for that spring moment, right? But coming back here, we also have got the MACD, which also momentum is kind of shifted towards the bullish side here for ICP. So all those things are taken into consideration. Other than that, I think that the main one that we should be looking at, and as I said, I want to be proving to you that it's not anything that the ICP project will do that will pump the price, rather it's just like the crypto liquidity and where the market is generally speaking. So this is total 3. This is the market cap of altcoins excluding Ethereum. So we've got anything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we start from XRP going down, I think, until position number 125 or number 150. I really don't remember what it is, but this is the index that you have combined, and you can see that we are knocking on the doors of an all-time high. The last time we did something like that, we ended up pushing very much strongly here and had an exciting bull run. So the thesis here is that we're going to be doing pretty much the same thing right there with the market. Now, how does this affect the ICP Internet Computer price? Is because really the ICP price follows in this index very, very much closely. Now you see I've got two charts, one blue one and of course one other one which is in yellow and red, and you can now see that ICP perfectly matches the movements that happen with that index. So if ICP is going to be pumping here, it's not going to be doing it alone. It's going to be doing it with the rest of the altcoins. Now, do we have like conditions which satisfy something like that? I think we're in a poor position to really get pushing until proven otherwise. Now, I don't want to come to you and give you two scenarios, say, look, if this happens, then this will happen, or that will happen. Then if one of the scenarios happen, I'll come back and say, oh yeah, I told you this was going to happen. I want to tell you what my position is. Then of course, open the door to something different, but I will still acknowledge that I was wrong if what I was thinking about doesn't play out, right? So as I said, I'm anticipating that this whole market cap of altcoins, excluding Ethereum, really pushes and breaks into a new all-time high, expands a little bit, just like what we saw back in 2021. It also is very much logical to say that, look, we have had that Wyckoff accumulation pattern for ICP. We have also said or established that that was the bottom right now, like $4. Now, isn't it logical to see this thing start to push up a little bit? And along that, we're also going to be seeing the total market cap of crypto break out here, get into a new all-time high, and everything is exciting once again. So this really is where I am right at this point. But as I said, I acknowledge if I'm going to be wrong, if these things, just say, you know what, CF, we really don't care about your feelings. We're going to be doing totally the opposite and head towards the downside. Okay, this is, the scenario that we'll be faced with. But I will admit that it was not my position. I was totally wrong. There would have to take measures. But I think you have seen clearly that number one, ICP just depends on where the rest of the market is. It's not really because Caffeine AI is going to be a success. I mean, still it can be a success, but we have also seen that ICP has been very strong fundamentally, but then the price has not responded well to that. So we just wait for the rest of the market to catch up. And then ICP as well has got a big breakout. I think I've let these arrows, face down for a very long time. They should actually be facing towards the upside here because we want to be seeing a breakout happen very soon. So we're going to give it a little bit of a time, and eventually I think we're going to see things go our way right there. One other thing that we have to talk about, obviously, time and again, is the Bitcoin price, because really it is the driver of this market. Now it is also sitting at a very critical point at this point. I'll show you that in a minute. Now what you notice is that these are weekly candles for Bitcoin. Now there is very clear resistance right around, like I would say $19,200, $19,300 thereabout. This was where the price was rejected very much strongly, multiple times in the past. So it's going to be very much significant if a week closes above $120,000 here for Bitcoin, because that will be the first time something like that has happened. I think it also just gave a great signal for ICP and the rest of like other crypto markets to say that, you know what, it's basically time to go. So everything is very much at a critical level here. ICP looks like it has bottomed relative to that Wyckoff accumulation pattern that we talked about. Then, of course, we're also seeing that it is almost 1:1 tethered to what the crypto index does, as in like altcoins outside of, Ethereum. Then we're also seeing that the Bitcoin price, which is usually the drive of altcoins here, with a massive resistance. So should it be able to break and conquer, I think it's just a go signal for everything else, and we're going to be pushing. That's my position right now. If the opposite happens, look, guys, this is life. I mean, we were wrong and we would have to find some solutions to that. But as for now, I think that the best thing is just to wait and see how the landscape is changing. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family. And then, of course, I will see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.